So in this battle vid, I'm going to be showing my pretty much worst matchup, and that is a straight fighting deck. I'm playing Zekeel's again. I know I've had some people saying I should switch to another deck, just to try it out, as far as getting different battle vids up. And the reason I'm not switching to another deck is simply because I don't have the cards to make another deck. To make CMT, I believe I don't have that many Celebi to make, or I'm not even sure about the Tornadus. To make a straight fighting deck. I don't know if I have the Donphan Terrakion, all that stuff. The cards, they don't cost money, but they cost booster codes, and some of those cards can cost quite a few booster codes. So that's why I typically only have a few decks built at a time, and I kind of stick to the same thing. So, let's get back to the game. He gets to go first. He starts off with a double Phanpy, attaches a fighting energy for the turn. He got at least one of those Phanpys on a dual ball and has to pass. So I amazingly get my collector start, which is pretty rare considering that I only run one collector. And you hear a cat meowing in the background. That's because I'm pet sitting at the moment. Probably also why my voice sounds a little bit different. I am in a fairly echoey room. So against a straight fighting deck, typically I rely on my Mewtwo's as my attackers rather than my electric Pokemon because of the weakness. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to that Smeargle so I can get my heavy retreating Zekrom out of the way, as well as get my Smeargle out so I can portrait for hopefully another supporter. I am going to try and get some electric out because that is going to be my energy acceleration. And if he targets the electric, that means he's not targeting my Mewtwo, meaning that I can attack longer with it and not have to lose two prizes. So I portrait his hand, and while there's no supporters or energy in it, he does have the Donphan that he needs. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it, and so I have to pass my turn after attaching a lightning energy to a Mewtwo. So we know he's going to evolve to Donphan, so there's the Donphan, meaning that he's going to be able to take out my Smeargle, which, surprisingly enough, also has a fighting weakness, and attaches I believe that was just a fighting energy to the Phanpy on the bench. He's going to catch her up one of my eels, at least I'm pretty sure he's going to catch her up one of the eels, yep. Meaning that he's trying to cut off my energy acceleration later on in the game. Again, that's fine. I would much rather him target that than to knock out a Smeargle, which possibly, is going to lose me a portrait, or my Mewtwo's, which are my main attackers. So I'm going to go ahead and portrait, see if he's got anything in hand. Still nothing, but he's got Terrakions, more Phanpys, Loss Remover. So I'm going to have to Juniper my hand, throwing out that Junk Arm, and see if I can get some stuff going. Really wish I would have had some lightning energy to throw away, but that's all right. So I'm going to go ahead and bench another eel. If nothing else, it's going to be a target for him. And again, take some pressure off of my Mewtwo's. Here I need to go ahead and play that Sky Arrow so my Smeargle has a free retreat. It's really not going to help his Donphans out any. It might help a Phanpy out, but not the Donphans. And because of his Poke Power or Poke Body that reduces 20, I'm only able to do 40 with that X Ball. But at least it's starting to whittle away down at that Donphan. And it's something. So he uses Poke Gear to get a Sharon, benches another couple Phanpy, and he gets a catcher yet again. So some pretty good luck so far, considering his hands have been dead, to be able to continuously pull into a catcher to be able to take out my eels. So of course that knocks it out in one hit, and I promote the Smeargle, hoping that he pulled another supporter on that Sharon. So I pull a catcher of my own. However, that Donphan, that fully loaded Donphan, is my main concern right now. So there's no point in me targeting any of the weaker ones when that Donphan is still able to do a significant amount of damage. He's going to portrait, and he has a pot, so that's excellent. There's really nothing else I needed in my hand. And looks like, so I don't have any other energy to attach. I know he has a Loss Remover in hand, but I have to deal some damage. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that DCE. And and then going to retreat. Unfortunately, I was not able to pull my own supporter off of that Pont, so another little bit more bad luck on my end, and I'll X-Ball for 80 for the knockout. And I pull another catcher, which if he doesn't pull out a Donphan, that'll be great. I can start targeting some other Pokemon. But again, really the catcher with so many Phanpys and so many of the same Pokemon on the field isn't really terribly helpful. So he does use that Lost Remover to take out my DCE. There's really not much I could do about that. If I had had a different type of energy, I definitely would have used it, but I didn't. So there is the junk arm for another catcher. So again, just, you know, considering his hand has been so lack of supporters, it's really amazing that he can continue to just get that stream. So he decides to take it back and then replay it. I'm not quite sure what he was, exactly what he maybe thought he was misplaying or something like that. And he does play a Pont to get a fresh hand. So he's able to get the Donphan and the fighting energy off of that Pont to be able to knock out my eel. So never able to get my eels up. However, that did distract him for 3 prizes, which, while that may not look good, means that my Mewtwo attackers are still alive. So since I have no supporter, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah. So that's okay. Really the only thing I lost was that lightning energy, which without my eels I can't reattach back on. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anything in the discard pile, any lightning energy in the discard pile while my eels were around for the short time they were around. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that DCE to the Mewtwo to be able to knock out that Donphan, which does another 80. I take 20 for the Rocky Helmet, and unfortunately it doesn't knock him out. I thought he had more damage on him because of all of the damage he had taken while on the bench, but that's okay. The next attack will knock him out. So he attaches a Rocky Helmet to one of the bench Phanpys. He Junipers away to fighting for a fresh hand. Plays another Lost Remover to get rid of that DCE, as well as a plus power. And he'll do 70 to me, as well as 10 to his bench, except for that Phanpy with the energy attached because of that Pokebody. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the lightning. Or it looks like I'm not going to attach the lightning. He has 100 damage on him, so just attacking him right now without attaching any energy to that active Mewtwo, it will knock him out. So I'm going to go ahead and start building up my bench Mewtwo. And I'm going to go ahead and X-Ball for the knockout. Again, I have a catcher in hand, but the biggest threat on the field is that Donphan right in front of me, so there's really no point in me trying to focus on anything else. So he did have experience share attached to that Phanpy, so he's able to... I'm not quite sure if that was a double experience share. It looked like that was a double experience share, a glitch in the game. It looked like they went both straight from the discard pile to him, and according to that little pop-up thing, it did look like there were 2 experience shares. So that's a nice little glitch in the game. That's not allowed. Yeah. So there's his energy attachment for turn. So because of that one glitch, this is where the game starts to get really freaky. He's trying to evolve his Donphan, and then he takes it back. He attaches the 3rd energy, and I think this is where the game realizes, maybe because of the previous glitch, that it's just not allowing it. Experience share only works for 1 basic energy, not 2. So it's pretty messed up. It's not letting him... I thought he evolved the Donphan right in front of me, but because it's flipped over, it turns out he actually wasn't able to evolve it because of that triple energy attachment, and this is where the game just starts to go all quirky. So I actually don't notice that he's talking in the corner box, which is why he's taking so long to respond. And then the bench changes completely. He takes the Donphan back again. He evolves the active again. It looks like he's retreating. I'm not quite sure exactly what he's trying to do. He takes the attack, or not the attack, the evolution back again, evolves on the bench. So this is, I think, him constantly taking it back, taking his evolutions back, and then doing it again, taking it back, doing it again, is in addition to that experience share glitch, is really where it just screws the whole game up. I don't think the game, and I know I've played games before where if I try to take back too much stuff, it gets glitchy like that. So, which is just a good general practice. In a tournament, your opponent may not allow you to take something back like that. So it's probably not good to get used to it. And as you can see in this case, it just screws the game up. So I'm not sure if I'm looking at a Donphan or a Phanpy right now. Because that card is flipped upside down, because he's tried to evolve it probably half a dozen times, and now he's just sitting there. And he's going to capture my Mewtwo without any energy attached, and hits it for 30, which makes me think that it could be just a Phanpy with Flail. So my concern right now is that there's not much energy on my active Mewtwo. And because the game is glitching so bad, I'm not quite sure if it's going to calculate the damage for that active. I should be doing, let's see, 3 on there, 2, 4, 6, 8. Should be doing 80 damage, well actually 100 damage, because I do need to attach one more for my turn. So I'm going to go ahead and use a dual ball to pull out that Shaman. And because my Mewtwo on the bench is damaged, this is actually a pretty good move to just get that energy off of my damaged Mewtwo and onto the active Mewtwo, which doesn't have nearly as much damage on it. There's 110 on the bench and only 30 on the active, so I think moving all my energy over is probably the safest play. With all that energy on the active, this should ensure that I get a knockout. Especially with that last attachment, I'm doing, see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 140, which, if that is a Donphan in front of me, reduces by 20, which is still 120 for the knockout. Check my card, my deck, and I'm going to X-Ball for the knockout. So it's still not really calculating the damage out correctly, because if that was a Phanpy, I believe it. Well, no, I guess it was the fail Phanpy. So now the other Phanpy, or the Donphan Phanpy, whatever it was on the bench, just disappears completely, and you see a Terrakion. Again, this is where just going back and forth so many turns on, I want to do this, I want to take it back, I want to do this, I'm going to take it back, is where the game just gets screwy. The Pokemon Online game is not perfect by any means yet, and this is, taking back things is one thing that it really just can't handle. It kind of seems to go overboard on. So right now it's looking like I have a Donphan in front of me, but now it looks like I have a Terrakion in front of me. I have no clue. So he's going to Junk Arm again for the catcher. This guy just has a steady stream of catchers and Junk Arms, and is going to pull up that Mewtwo with no energy. And then he's not going to attack. And later on, I'll look at that box and realize it's because the game is actually glitching so bad on his side that he can't attack. However, I don't realize this yet. I'm going to go ahead and Sage and go ahead and get that Super Rod and Lightning, because when I'm losing energy now, I don't have my Eels in play to be able to get it back. We are tied on prizes. So as you can see, despite his complaints later on in the game, I am at a significant advantage. And so here's when I should have the knockout for the game, because there's nothing else on his bench. I have 4 energy attached. He's got 2 at least energy attached to him. He is a Terrakion. it's showing that he's a Terrakion more than it's showing he's a Donphan. And it only calculates it out to be 80 damage. So I'm not quite sure how, see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 120 gets reduced down to 40 when he's got an experience share on him. And if that is a Donphan, it would only be reduced by 20. So it's not calculating out the damage correctly. Again, it's now showing me more that it's a Donphan, but then when I zoom in on it, I see more that it's a Terrakion with a double Rocky helmet. It's just all screwed up. So now he's able to bench some more stuff, and so now I finally checked the game room. So now he's complaining about he can't evolve, stupid glitch, that I'm lucky. Dear Mother of God, can't attack, can't do a damn thing. So I'm pretty disappointed in him right now because he is being such a poor sport. He got a great start. He was able, he really was, had an excellent start of the game compared to my start. And the fact that he's just complaining about something that he caused by constantly evolving and then taking it back and then evolving and taking it back, which is what screwed the game up, frustrates me. So I made a comment about, well, it's not calculating damage output correctly either. Otherwise, I would have just, won the game last round. And it really didn't matter that you couldn't attack on one turn. So, I'm not quite sure what you're complaining about when it's a glitchy game, and if you don't want to play anymore, you should just leave. So I do another Sage, and I'm going to take those 2 lightning energy. And I don't really need that junk arm. There's really no trainers that I need right now, so I'm going to build up a Zekrom just to be able to one-shot a Terrakion. And I'm going to X-Ball for the knockout. Do a little damage to myself, but that's okay. Here I'm now ahead on prizes. And it turns out that was a Terrakion. So again, he can complain about the glitches all he wants, but there's still the I would have won last turn had it not glitched on the damage output. So now he starts to get frustrated even more. Later on, he claims that I'm not a good sport. And, you can say what you want, but you caused the glitch by doing what you wouldn't have been able to do in a tournament, by repeatedly taking your moves back. So I don't think you have a right to complain about something that you caused. It's a glitchy game, just deal with it. So I go ahead and just, I thought I was catching up a Terrakion with no damage, but again, it seems that his board is just completely screwed up. So it's his turn. Yeah, here's where he is saying, be a good sport, please. And, and then calls me dirty. I don't know what part of me using catcher on him when he's used catcher on me 4 times, I think, this game is dirty. So I pretty much just reply back that, his is glitching, mine is glitching. I would have won the game several turns back if it weren't for those glitches because he had no bench Pokemon. So just to get over it, he doesn't have to play. And typically that's what a lot of people do. If they see that their side of the board is really glitching bad, they just leave the game. It's not a big deal. It's not costing you anything to play. You're not really losing anything. But by insulting your opponent, calling them dirty in the sideboard and that they're not a good sport because they screwed the game up, yeah, it's a little annoying. His username is PokeTubing, so he may actually be someone that will be watching this vid later on. In which case, all I have to say to you is just to relax. It's a game. If you're watching this, I mean, really, it's just a game. So he's attached some energy, he's used a switch, but that and that it's pretty much that one Donphan card, I think from, like I said, again and again, by taking that Donphan back and forth, I think it's permanently glitched. So trying to attack with the Donphan just isn't going to work because it's glitched. So at this point, it's just a matter of, yeah, so finally he just gives up, realizes that he can't do anything, and that's the end of the game. So unfortunately, it couldn't have been, like I said, if the damage output had been right on that last turn, before he had the extra bench Pokemon, I would have won. But this is more of just an example of how Ezekiel's deck fights a straight fighting deck. Go for your Mewtwo's, focus on your Mewtwo's. Don't be afraid to bench electrics, because that's going to take damage output away from your Mewtwo's and going to keep them in the game longer, and isn't going to give you that 2 prize loss. If your opponent is running a straight fighting deck with more Mewtwo's, then, Mewtwo's to counter your Mewtwo's, that's when you're likely going to lose. But as you can see, with a straight fighting deck, just going aggro Mewtwo really works. So despite the glitches, at least I hope you enjoyed the first half of the game. And I think I do have a better fighting, another battle where I do face a fighting deck that's a little better than this. So I'll see if I can dig that up and do a commentary on that one. So hopefully that'll be coming up soon.